Dr. Maya Patel had dreamed of this moment her entire life. Standing on the deck of humanity's first diplomatic ship, she watched through the viewing window as an alien world grew larger and larger. The planet looked like a giant blue marble covered in swirling silver clouds. After 6 months of space travel, they had finally reached the home of the Zephyrians. Maya was part of a small team of scientists chosen to make first contact with this advanced alien race. She studied alien life forms, and this was the biggest discovery in human history. Her hand shook with excitement as she put on her formal diplomatic uniform. Today, everything would change. The Zephyrian capital city rose from vast oceans like something from a fairy tale. Tall spires twisted upward, made of what looked like living coral, but gleamed like metal. Bridges connected the towers, and Maya could see figures moving across them, real aliens. She could hardly believe it. When their ship docked at the main platform, Maya stepped out with her team. The air smelled like ocean breeze mixed with something sweet she couldn't identify. The gravity felt slightly lighter than Earth, making each step feel bouncy. Then she saw him. Prince Kale stood waiting with a group of other Zephyrians. Maya had seen pictures during their preparation, but nothing could have prepared her for seeing him in person. He was tall, maybe 7 feet, with skin that shimmered blue-green like the surface of a deep lake. Strange fin-like growths extended from his arms and back, and they seemed to change color as she watched. His eyes were the most striking part, bright silver that seemed to glow with their own light. "Welcome to our world," Prince Kale said in perfect English. His voice had a musical quality, like water flowing over rocks. "I'm honored to guide you during your stay." Maya stepped forward, trying to remember her diplomatic training. "Thank you, Your Highness. We're grateful for this opportunity to learn about your people." The prince smiled, showing teeth that were perfectly white but slightly pointed. "And we are curious about yours. We have studied your transmissions for many years, but there is much we do not understand about human biology." The welcome ceremony took place in a great hall with walls that seemed to be made of living water. Hundreds of Zephyrians filled the space, their fins shifting through different colors as they watched the humans. Maya noticed that some colors seemed to mean different things. Red appeared when they looked excited, blue when they were calm, purple when curious. During the feast, Maya found herself sitting next to Prince Kale. The food was unlike anything she had ever tasted. Some dishes seemed to move on their own. Others changed flavor as you ate them. The prince watched her reactions with obvious delight. "Tell me," Prince Kale said, leaning closer, "is it true that humans can create offspring at any time of year?" Maya nearly choked on her drink. The question seemed to come from nowhere. "Well, yes. Humans don't have specific seasons for reproduction. We can have children whenever we choose to." A strange silence fell over the nearby Zephyrians. Prince Kale's fin shifted to a bright orange color she hadn't seen before. His silver eyes widened. "Fascinating," he said, but his voice sounded different. "And this happens frequently?" Maya, thinking this was purely scientific curiosity, nodded. "Oh yes. Humans are quite active in that regard. Some people have children multiple times. Others choose not to at all. It's really quite flexible compared to most species." The orange color in Prince Kel's fins deepened to red. Other Zephyrians at nearby tables had stopped eating and were staring at Maya. She began to feel uncomfortable but didn't understand why. In the process of selecting a mate, Prince Kale asked, his voice barely above a whisper, "This also happens without regard to seasons?" "Absolutely," Maya replied, warming to the topic. She loved explaining biology. Humans form pair bonds year-round. The courtship process can be quite elaborate, involving gift-giving, shared activities, and extended periods of compatibility testing before any actual mating occurs. A collective gasp rose from the Zephyrians within hearing range. Prince Kel's fins had turned a deep purple color, and Maya noticed his hands were gripping his dining utensil very tightly. "Dr. Patel," he said carefully, Are you describing these processes to me as an invitation?" Maya blinked in confusion. "An invitation to what? To participate in these human courtship rituals with you?" The hall had gone completely quiet. Every Zephyrian in the massive space was now staring at Maya and Prince Gale. The silence stretched so long that Maya could hear the sound of water moving through the walls. What? No. I was just explaining human biology, Maya said, her voice rising in panic. It's science, but the damage was already done. Elderly Zephyrians were covering their eyes with their fins. Younger ones were turning bright red and giggling. Several important-looking officials were whispering urgently among themselves. Prince Gale stood up suddenly, his fins cycling rapidly through colors Maya had never seen before. Perhaps, he said in a strained voice, we should continue this discussion in a more private setting. But I don't understand what happened. Maya protested as two large Zephyrian guards approached her table. Dr. Patel, the captain of the human delegation, hissed from across the table. I think you should go with them. Now, as Maya was gently but firmly escorted from the hall, she caught glimpses of Zephyrians fanning themselves with their fins, others appearing to faint, and Prince Gale standing frozen at the head table with his fins stuck on a brilliant shade of gold. The last thing she heard before the doors closed behind her was an elderly Zephyrian female saying, in heavily accented English, such bold courtship displays. These humans certainly don't waste time. Maya found herself in a comfortable but clearly isolated room, with no idea what she had done wrong. Through her window, she could see Zephyrian citizens gathered in the plaza below, their fins flashing in what appeared to be very animated conversations. What have I gotten myself into? Maya muttered, sinking into a chair that seemed to mold itself to her body. All she had wanted to do was share some basic biological facts. How had that turned into a diplomatic crisis? Outside her window, more Zephyrians were gathering. Some appeared to be holding what looked like recording devices. Others were setting up what might have been broadcasting equipment. Maya had the sinking feeling that her problems were just beginning. Maya spent 3 days in her luxurious prison room, watching Zephyrians gather outside her window like she was some kind of celebrity. Every morning, more of them showed up with strange devices that looked like cameras made of coral and seaweed. She was starting to feel like an animal in a zoo. On the 4th morning, a soft chime echoed through her room. The door opened, and Prince Gale walked in, followed by what appeared to be half the royal court. Maya counted at least 12 Zephyrians, filing into her spacious quarters, all trying to look casual while obviously staring at her. Good morning, Dr. Patel, Prince Gale said formally. His fins were a careful neutral blue, but Maya noticed they kept flickering to other colors when he looked at her. I hope you have been comfortable. Very comfortable, thank you, Maya replied, eyeing the crowd of onlookers. Though I was hoping we could discuss what happened at the feast. I still don't understand what went wrong. An elderly Zephyrian female with elaborate fin decorations stepped forward. Dr. Patel, I am Counselor Naya, advisor to the prince. We understand there may have been some cultural misunderstandings. Yes, exactly, Maya said. Relieved, I was just sharing scientific information about human biology. I had no idea it would cause such a reaction. The counselor's fins turned a pale pink color. Indeed, however, in Zephyrian culture, detailed discussions of reproductive matters between unmarried individuals of different species can only occur during formal courtship proceedings. Maya's jaw dropped. Courtship? But I was just answering his scientific questions, which we now understand, Prince Gale said quickly. His fins shifting to what Maya was learning meant embarrassment. However, our protocols require that such discussions continue, only with proper supervision. Maya looked around at the dozen pairs of silver eyes watching her every move. Supervision, chaperones, Counselor Naya explained. Until we can fully resolve this situation, any meetings between you and the prince must be appropriately supervised to maintain propriety. This is ridiculous, Maya muttered, then louder. Fine. Can we at least have our scientific discussions? I came here to learn about your people, and I assume you want to learn about humans. Prince Gale's fins brightened considerably. Oh yes, I have so many questions. For instance, you mentioned that humans engage in courtship year-round. How do you manage the energy requirements on our world? We only bond once every 10 of your years because the process is so physically and emotionally demanding. Maya settled into her chair, grateful to be back on familiar scientific ground. Well, human pair bonding is quite different. We form emotional attachments gradually over time. The process involves getting to know each other's personalities, sharing interests, and building trust. The chaperones leaned forward with interest. One of them, a younger Zephyrian with bright green fins, pulled out what looked like a recording device made of crystallized water. Trust? Prince Kale asked. How is this established? Through shared experiences, Maya explained, warming to the topic. Humans might spend time together doing activities they both enjoy. They share meals, go on walks, talk about their hopes and dreams, that sort of thing. The chaperones began whispering among themselves in their musical language. Their fins were flashing rapid sequences of colors that Maya couldn't interpret. In the gift-giving you mentioned, Prince Kel's voice had dropped to almost a whisper. This is part of your courtship ritual. Sometimes, Maya nodded. It's a way of showing care and attention. A human might give their partner flowers, or something that reminds them of a shared memory, or just something they thought the other person would enjoy. Prince Kel's fins had turned a deep purple color, and Maya noticed his hands were clasped tightly together. And these shared meals you described. Oh, that's very common, Maya said enthusiastically. Humans often bond over food. They might cook together, try new restaurants, or share family recipes. It's a way of creating intimate moments and showing care for each other. The recording device in the green-finned Zephyrian's hands was now glowing brightly. Several chaperones had their own devices out, and Maya was starting to feel like she was giving a lecture. Dr. Patel, Counselor Naya interrupted gently, forgive me, but are these practices you are describing, are they things you would be willing to demonstrate? Demonstrate? Maya blinked in confusion. For educational purposes, of course, Prince. Kale said quickly, though his fins had turned an interesting shade of gold. To help our people understand human culture better. Maya thought about it. Well, I suppose I could show you how humans prepare food together, or explain our gift-giving customs. That seems reasonable for cultural exchange. The room exploded in excited fin flashing and musical chattering. Prince Kale stood up so quickly he knocked over his chair, which one of the chaperones caught with impressive reflexes. Excellent, he said, his fins cycling through what Maya assumed were happy colors. We could start with the shared meal preparation. I have always wondered how humans manage to create food. Without our natural temperature regulation abilities, that would be fun, Maya agreed. Though I should warn you, human cooking can be quite different from Zephyrian food preparation. We are prepared to learn, Prince Kale said solemnly. Though Maya caught him exchanging meaningful looks with Counselor Naya, as the group prepared to leave her quarters. Maya overheard two of the younger chaperones talking in rapid, excited whispers. She caught a few English words mixed in with their musical language, elaborate, romantic, and unprecedented. Is everything all right? Maya asked as they walked through the coral corridors toward what she assumed were the kitchens. Everything is perfect, Prince Kale replied, his fins glowing with warm, happy colors. Our people are simply very excited to learn about human culture. You are the first human to visit our world, after all. Maya smiled, pleased that she was finally making progress in her diplomatic mission. She had no idea that behind her, the chaperones were sending urgent messages to the Royal Council about the humans' willingness to demonstrate advanced courtship rituals. As they entered a spacious kitchen area with strange floating cooking surfaces and water that flowed upward in spirals, Maya rolled up her sleeves with determination. All right, Your Highness, let me show you how humans make pasta. Prince Kel's fins turned the brightest gold she had ever seen, and Maya couldn't help but smile at his obvious excitement. At least someone was enjoying this cultural exchange, even if she still didn't quite understand all the fuss. What Maya didn't notice was the small crowd of Zephyrians gathering outside the kitchen windows, or the way Prince Kel kept glancing at her with an expression that had nothing to do with scientific curiosity. Maya woke up to find her room filled with the most beautiful flowers she had ever seen. They weren't like earth flowers at all. These seemed to glow from within, shifting between colors like living rainbows. Some looked like underwater plants, while others resembled crystals that had somehow learned to bloom. "What in the world?" she muttered. Sitting up in her bed, the flowers covered every surface in her room, floating on tables, hanging from the ceiling, even growing up from the floor in elaborate arrangements. A soft chime announced Prince Kel's arrival, followed by his usual parade of chaperones. But today, there were even more of them. Maya counted at least 20 Zephyrians crowding into her quarters. "Good morning, Dr. Patel," Prince Kel said, his fins cycling through nervous colors. "I hope you slept well." "I did, until I woke up." "In a botanical garden," Maya said, gesturing at the incredible display. "What's all this about?" Counselor Naya stepped forward, her elderly fins trembling with what Maya had learned was excitement. "Dr. Patel, the Royal Council has made a decision. Your demonstrations of human courtship rituals have been so educational that we would like to request something unprecedented." Maya felt a chill run down her spine. "What kind of request?" "A formal demonstration," another counselor announced, his fins flashing official government colors. "We would like you to perform a complete human courtship sequence for our entire population to observe and learn from." "I'm sorry, what?" Maya's voice came out as a squeak. Prince Kel's fins had turned a deep shade of purple, and he was avoiding eye contact. "The Council believes it would be invaluable for our people to witness authentic human bonding behaviors. We would broadcast it across our entire world." Maya stood up so fast she knocked over a floating flower arrangement. "You want to broadcast me on television? Doing what exactly?" "The courtship rituals you've been describing," Counselor Naya said patiently. "The gift-giving, the shared meals, the trust-building exercises. Our people are fascinated by how humans can form such deep connections without a formal bonding season." "But I wasn't describing courtship rituals," Maya protested. "I was just explaining normal human social behavior." The room fell silent. 20 pairs of silver eyes stared at her in confusion. "Dr. Patel," one of the younger counselors said carefully, "are you saying that the behaviors you demonstrated, the intimate meal preparation, the detailed discussions of human pair bonding, the willingness to share personal cultural practices, these are not courtship behaviors?" Maya opened her mouth, then closed it. When they put it like that, it did sound rather romantic. "Well, I mean, they can be part of courtship, but they're also just normal friendly activities." Prince Kale finally looked at her, his fins shifting to colors she'd never seen before. "So when humans engage in these behaviors, they are not necessarily indicating romantic interest." "Not necessarily, no," Maya said. Then noticed the disappointed slump in Prince Kel's shoulders. "But sometimes they are. It depends on the context and the people involved." The chaperones began whispering frantically among themselves in their musical language. Maya caught fragments of English mixed in context, confusing. "How do they?" "No, this is most puzzling," Counselor Naya said finally. "How do humans determine when these behaviors indicate romantic interest versus mere friendship?" Maya found herself really thinking about it for the first time. "I guess it's about intention and mutual interest, the way someone looks at you, the extra care they put into their actions, the way they listen when you talk." Prince Kel's fins brightened considerably. "And how does one determine if there is mutual interest?" "Usually through spending time together and seeing if there's a connection," Maya replied. "You know, feeling comfortable with each other, enjoying each other's company, feeling excited to see them again." As she spoke, Maya realized she was describing exactly how she'd been feeling about her time with Prince Kale, the way he listened so intently to everything she said, how his fins would light up when she entered a room, how much she looked forward to their daily discussions. "Prince Kale," she said slowly, "when you asked the council for this demonstration, was it really for educational purposes?" His fins turned the brightest gold she'd ever seen, and he looked down at his hands. I wanted to understand if humans could feel the same deep connections that Zephyrians experience during our bonding cycles. Our bonding only happens once every 10 years, but it creates a connection that lasts a lifetime. When you describe human relationships, I wondered if what you felt could be as meaningful." Maya felt her heart skip a beat. You mean you were asking because I have developed feelings that I do not understand, he admitted, his voice barely audible. Feelings that do not follow our natural cycles, but seem to grow stronger each day I spend in your company. The chaperones were pretending not to listen, but Maya noticed they had all turned their backs and were studying the floating flowers. With intense concentration, Kale, Maya said softly, using his name without the title for the first time, I think I understand those feelings. His head snapped up, and his fins began cycling through every color imaginable. You do. I've been looking forward to seeing you every day, Maya confessed. I thought it was just because our conversations were so interesting. But it's more than that, isn't it? Much more, he whispered. Counselor Naya cleared her throat diplomatically. Perhaps we should reconsider the nature of this demonstration? Maya looked around at all the beautiful flowers, at the chaperones trying to pretend they weren't eavesdropping, at Prince Kale with his fins glowing like a sunrise. Actually, I think I have a better idea for your demonstration. Oh, Prince? Kale asked hopefully. Instead of me demonstrating human courtship, Maya said, a smile growing on her face. Why don't we show your people what it looks like when two different species learn to care about each other? Real feelings, real connection, not just biological processes. Prince Kale's fins turned so bright that several chaperones had to shield their eyes. You would be willing to do that with me? I think, Maya said, reaching out to gently touch one of his glowing fins. We've already been doing that. The chaperones burst into excited musical chatter, and Counselor Naya began making rapid notes on a device that looked like living coral. This will be even better than we hoped, she declared. A true demonstration of interspecies connection. Maya laughed, realizing that her scientific mission had become something much more personal and wonderful than she could have ever imagined. Maya had never been so nervous in her life, standing in the grand presentation hall. She watched as thousands of Zephyrians filled the floating seats that surrounded the central platform. Their fins were flickering with excitement, creating a light show that looked like the aurora borealis dancing through water. Are you ready? Prince Kale asked, appearing beside her. His own fins were cycling through nervous colors, but when he looked at her, they settled into warm gold tones that made Maya feel calmer. I think so, Maya replied. Smoothing down her earth dress, the Zephyrian tailors had somehow made it flow like water while still looking completely human. Though I still can't believe we're doing this. Over the past week, Maya and Kale had worked together to create something completely different from what the Royal Council had originally requested. Instead of a clinical demonstration of human courtship behaviors, they had planned a cultural exchange program that would show both species what real connection looked like. Counselor Naya approached them, her elderly fins shimmering with pride. The broadcast equipment is ready, half our planet is watching, and we've even sent signals to our colony worlds. This is the largest audience in Zephyrian history. Maya gulped, no pressure at all. Kale gently touched her hand with his fin, and Maya was surprised by how warm it felt. Remember, we are not performing. We are simply sharing our cultures and our friendship, Maya repeated, though the word felt inadequate for what had developed between them over the past weeks. The lights dimmed, and a soft musical tone filled the massive hall. Maya and Kale walked to the center of the platform, where they had set up displays representing both Earth and the Zephyrian homeworld. Welcome, honored citizens, Kale began, his voice carrying clearly through the hall thanks to some kind of Zephyrian technology Maya didn't understand. Today, Dr. Maya Patel and I will share with you the true nature of interspecies connection. Maya stepped forward, her nervousness fading as she slipped into her familiar role as an educator. When I first arrived on your beautiful world, I thought I was here only to study and learn. But I discovered something more valuable than any scientific data. She gestured to a display showing images of Earth, blue oceans, green forests, and bustling human cities. On my world, humans form connections through shared experiences. We learn about each other by spending time together, sharing our thoughts and feelings, and discovering common interests. Kale moved to his own display, showing the crystal spires and floating gardens of the Zephyrian cities. On our world, we believe that meaningful connections could only form during our sacred bonding seasons. We thought that without biological programming, relationships could not be deep or lasting. But we've learned that connection isn't about biology, Mai continued, looking at Kale with genuine warmth. It's about curiosity, kindness, and the willingness to understand someone different from yourself. To demonstrate, Mai showed the audience how humans prepare food together. She and Kale worked side by side at a cooking station, with Maya teaching him to make simple earth bread while he showed her how to prepare Zephyrian kelp noodles that change color as they cooked. See how we help each other, Maya pointed out, as Kale carefully measured ingredients with his fins while she stirred. This isn't just about making food. It's about working together, being patient with mistakes, and creating something new that combines both our cultures. The audience was completely silent, their fins barely flickering as they watched in fascination. Maya could see young Zephyrians leaning forward in their seats, while older ones exchanged meaningful looks. Next, they demonstrated human and Zephyrian art forms. Maya showed them how humans paint with brushes, creating images that capture moments and emotions. Kale demonstrated Zephyrian light sculpting, where he used his natural bioluminescence to create three-dimensional images in the water around them. Now watch what happens when we combine our techniques, Kale said, his fins beginning to glow in complex patterns. Maya dipped her brush in special paint that the Zephyrian artist had created for her, paint that responded to light. As Kale created light sculptures, Maya painted them, capturing the flowing patterns in ways that neither species could achieve alone. The result was breathtaking, a painting that seemed to move and breathe, combining the static beauty of human art with the dynamic flow of Zephyrian lightwork. The audience gasped, their fins flashing in amazement. This is what real connection creates, Maya explained, gesturing to their collaborative artwork. Something neither of us could make alone, but together we created something beautiful and new. But the most powerful moment came when they demonstrated communication across species barriers. Maya sat across from Kale and began teaching him a simple earth song, a lullaby her grandmother used to sing. Her voice was gentle and untrained, but filled with emotion. Kale listened carefully, then began to harmonize using the musical tones natural to Zephyrian speech. The combination was hauntingly beautiful, human words carried by alien melodies, creating something that spoke to the heart regardless of species. As they sang together, Maya felt tears on her cheeks. This wasn't performance or demonstration anymore. This was real connection, happening in front of thousands of witnesses. You see, Kale said softly when the song ended, his fins glowing with colors Maya now recognized as deep affection. Connection is not about understanding everything about each other. It is about accepting differences while finding harmony. Maya nodded, her voice thick with emotion. When I first came here, I thought love was just biology and chemistry. But spending time with your people, with Kale, has taught me that love is actually about choice. Choosing to care, choosing to understand, choosing to build something together. The hall erupted in a symphony of fin flashing and musical tones. That Maya now understood was Zephyrian applause, but she barely noticed the audience anymore. All she could see was Kale, his silver eyes reflecting her own face, his fins cycling through every color of happiness. Maya, he said, using her name in front of his entire species for the first time. You have taught me that the heart does not need seasons. It only needs someone willing to tend it with care. As the broadcast ended and the audience began to disperse, Maya realized that she had found something on this alien world that she never expected. Not just scientific discovery, but a home in the most unlikely place imaginable. The morning after their cultural presentation, Maya woke up to find her room filled with messages. Not just from Zephyrians, but from across the galaxy, apparently. Their demonstration had been shared far beyond just this one planet, and beings from dozens of different species had sent responses. Dr. Patel, Counselor Naya announced as she entered with her usual entourage. You have become something of a celebrity throughout the known galaxy. 3 different species have requested similar cultural exchanges, and the Galactic Council has asked for a full report on interspecies relationship dynamics. Maya sat up in bed, still processing this information. Wow, I never expected any of this when I came here. There is more, Counselor Naya continued, her fins flickering. With excitement, the Royal Council has made you an unprecedented offer. They would like you to become our first interspecies cultural ambassador, a permanent position that would allow you to continue this work. Maya's heart stopped. Permanent? You mean? You will live here, on our world, Prince Kale said, stepping forward from behind the group. His fins were carefully neutral, but Maya could see the hope in his silver eyes. You would help establish cultural exchange programs with other species and serve as a bridge between our peoples. The offer was everything Maya had ever dreamed of professionally. To be the first human to study alien cultures full-time. To help establish peaceful relationships between species. To be part of something bigger than just one world. It was the opportunity of a lifetime. But it was also terrifying. What about Earth? Maya asked quietly. What about my life there? The journey between our worlds takes 18 months each way, Counselor Nye said gently. It would mean choosing to make this your home. Maya looked around at the faces watching. Her, some alien, some becoming familiar. Over the past few weeks, she had grown to care about these people in ways she never expected. And then there was Kale, standing perfectly still, waiting for her answer. Can I have some time to think about it? Maya asked. Of course, Counselor Nye replied. Take all the time you need. After everyone left, Maya sat alone in her room, staring out at the crystal spires and floating gardens of the Zephyrian city. It was beautiful here, and the work would be meaningful. But leaving Earth forever felt like cutting away part of herself. A soft chime announced another visitor. Maya expected to see Prince Gale, but instead, a young Zephyrian she didn't recognize entered her room. Dr. Patel, I'm Zara, assistant to the communications department. I have something for you. Zara handed Maya a device that looked like crystallized water. This contains messages from your home world. We received them this morning. Maya activated the device, and suddenly her room filled with holographic images of her family and friends from Earth, her parents, her sister, her colleagues, all sending her messages of love and support. Maya, sweetie, her mother's image said, we've been watching the broadcast of your cultural presentation. We're so proud of you, and we can see how happy you are there. Her father's message was next. You found something special, kiddo. Don't let fear hold you back from following your heart. But it was her sister's message that brought tears to Maya's eyes. I can see it in your face, Maya. You're in love, not just with the work, but with someone special. Home isn't a place. It's where your heart feels complete. As the messages ended, Maya realized she had been crying. She thought about what home really meant. Was it the planet where she was born? Or was it the place where she felt most herself? Another chime announced Prince Kel's arrival. He entered quietly, his fins subdued colors. I wanted to tell you, he said softly, that whatever you decide, I will understand. I know this is an enormous choice, and I would never want you to feel pressured because of how I feel about you. Maya looked at him, this alien prince who had become so dear to her, who had shown her new ways of thinking about connection and love. Kale, how I feel about you is exactly why this choice is so difficult. His fins brightened slightly. You feel, I love you, Maya said. Simply, I love your curiosity, your kindness. The way you listen to everything I say like it's the most important thing in the world. I love how you make me laugh. And how you've taught me that connection isn't about being the same species. It's about choosing to care for each other. Kel's fins exploded into brilliant gold light, and he crossed the room into quick strides. Maya, I love you too. I love your passion for learning, your courage in coming so far from home. The way you see beauty in differences instead of fear. You have taught me that the heart knows no seasons. They stood close together, and Maya reached up to touch his face, marveling at how natural it felt despite their differences. I'm scared, she admitted. What if I make the wrong choice? There's no wrong choice, Kale said gently. There is only the choice that feels true to who you are. Maya closed her eyes and thought about her life on Earth. Comfortable, predictable, safe. Then she thought about the past few weeks here, challenging, surprising, full of growth and discovery. And love. I have a question, Maya said, opening her eyes. This cultural ambassador position, would I be working alone? Kelvin shifted to curious blue. You would have full support staff, of course. And I would be honored to serve as your liaison to the royal court, if you would accept my assistance. Maya smiled. You mean we'd be working together, every day, if you wished it, Kale replied, his fins glowing brighter. Then I have my answer, Maya said. Feeling a weight lift from her shoulders, I accept the position. Kale's fins became so bright that Maya had to shield her eyes. Truly, truly, Maya confirmed. Home isn't where you come from. It's where you choose to build your life. And I choose to build mine here, with you. 6 months later, Maya stood in the same great hall where she had first caused a diplomatic incident. But this time, she was wearing a gown that flowed like water, designed to honor both human and Zephyrian traditions beside her. Prince Kelvin displayed patterns that told the story of their love in colors visible to both. Their species. The bonding ceremony was unlike anything either culture had ever seen before. Maya spoke vows in English while Kale responded in musical Zephyrian tones. They exchanged gifts. Maya gave Kale a small earth flower preserved in crystal, while he presented her with a light sculpture that captured the moment they first met. As they joined hands and fins, Maya realized that her journey to the stars had brought her not just to new worlds, but to a new understanding of what it means to find your place in the universe. Ready for our next adventure, Ambassador? Kale asked, his fins glowing with happiness. Maya smiled, looking out at the audience of beings from dozens of different species, who had come to witness their union. Ready, Your Highness. Let's show the galaxy what love looks like.